Yes, people, welcome back to Talking Wolves. We're here for a brand new update. I thought I'd go live for this one, folks, because it's deadline day. Wolves are actually playing in a couple of hours. I'll say a couple of hours, a few hours. So there's not actually much time to sit down and edit a video and do it as I normally do. So if you're in the chat, please do say hello. If you're watching back, thanks for watching. And obviously, I'll make sure I can keep this as precise and concise as possible. If you're in the chat, feel free to drop your messages in. Probably do a little Q&A thing towards the end of the video as well. But just a bit of a quick update with what's gone on over the last 24 hours or so, and what we can maybe and hopefully expect to see over the last few hours of the transfer window as well. Very obviously, to start us off, if I share my screen, start us off, the big news yesterday was that Noha Lemina officially had joined Wolves. We knew it was going to come. Took probably a little bit longer than Wolves wanted and expected, but the deal is done now. He's joining on Wolves on loan until the end of the season. The option to buy is varied a little bit. A lot of sources saying €1 million. It's coming in around about £1.7 million from the sources locally here in England, which I still think is a very decent piece of business. 1.7 million. Which not too bad. He's going to predominantly come in. I think he's in the training with the first team, but you'll expect to see him get minutes for the under-21s. Who knows? He might be on the bench tonight against Manchester United. I assume it might be a little bit too soon for that, but who knows? We'll wait and see. But with Noha Lemina coming in, extremely talented young player, not really playing much football for Sampdoria. He was there on loan in the second division of Italy this year, so struggled a little bit to break through into that team. But I'll be quite excited to see if he does play 21s football, if we have a front three at any point of Nathan Fraser, Enzo Gonzalez, and Noha Lemina. That could be a really exciting front three to watch in the Premier League too. So quite looking forward to seeing that. But good young player, obviously brother of Mario Lemina. So let's see what happens there. Next piece of news we'll jump onto. This is quite an interesting one. This broke yesterday in Scotland that Celtic had come in for Hugo Bueno. I've seen them looking at a few different options for a loan deal. Hugo Bueno is one of those. And it was rejected yesterday by Wolves from Celtic. Bueno's not really been hitting the heights that you would have wanted him and possibly expected him to this year. He's had opportunities, especially with Aït-Nouri out at AFCON. Unfortunately for Hugo Bueno, I think injuries have slowed him down a little bit. His confidence has probably held him back a little bit. You know, he was chucked almost in the deep end last year by Steve Davis, and Lopetegui really liked him as well. Lopetegui liked him so much, in fact, that he was going to let Aït-Nouri go. But Aït-Nouri has just gone from strength to strength. And I think, again, he should probably come straight back into the team for Wolves tonight as well, Aït-Nouri. So Hugo Bueno for now is going to be staying at Wolves. But the summer could be an interesting one. He's had some big interest in him before. I think RB Leipzig were interested in him. I think Atletico Madrid were interested in him some time ago as well. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Again, anyone that's jumping into the chat, welcome into very quick video, very quick update today. If you've got any questions, we'll have a little 5-minute Q&A towards the end of the video as well. Shouldn't be too long today anyway, obviously with what's going on. Gary O'Neill yesterday, this was from Liam Keane. He's had some interesting quotes in the pre-match press conference, to be fair. Yesterday, he was saying that he, as well as Noha Lemina, he still ideally wanted another two forward players. And number 9 is the priority, obviously, for Wolves. And then another forward player that can pretty much play across the front line. I don't think they're essential. I think a number 9 would be nice. Of course, it'd be really, really nice. But another attacking player, I don't think it wouldn't be the end of the world. As it stands, Wolves may well be getting none of those, which obviously we'll touch on in a minute. But he says he would expect somewhere between none and 2 deals to be done on top of Noha between now and the close of the window. I'd love it to be 2, but there's a possibility they end up being too tricky and ends up being none. So Gary O'Neill setting, he was hoping, expecting, but yeah, at the moment, it doesn't look likely with what's going on. This one is someone that we've not actually spoken about on the transfer videos because I didn't do a video yesterday on the transfers. Yuri, Alberto. Everything apparently was agreed for Wolves to sign this young man, a Brazilian forward from Corinthians, 22 years of age, I believe. Apparently, there was an agreement in principle for Yuri Alberto to join Wolves with a loan deal with an option to buy, and it has broke down over finances involved. And it was basically a late request from the agents as they wanted extra money. So apparently between Corinthians and Wolves, everything was pretty much agreed. The player was happy, gave the thumbs up to join Wolves. There were hopes that he would fly to England overnight, but obviously that has broke down. There is a very, very, very small chance this could come back. The Wolves could reignite this, but I don't know. It could be a really late deal where the agents think, "Oh, we've messed up here," and Wolves try and reignite it. But if I'm completely honest, he'd have to do the medical in Brazil. Obviously, Wolves would have to get the paperwork done. It'd be quite a difficult process. So we'll have to wait and see whether that happens. But if I'm completely honest, I think this one now is probably completely dead in the water. But Yuri Alberto to Wolves probably finished and done. Interestingly, the last transfer video I did towards the end of the video, if you remember, I did deals you should look out for, players that may or may not be on the move towards the end of the window or possibly going into the summer. Theo Corbeanu was one of those. There were lots of interest in him. Apparently, there's been lots of interest in him. EFL clubs in Belgium, Holland, Italy, Spain. But he's actually going to be leaving the club on a permanent deal. As of right now, still unsure on what the fee is going to be, but he's going to be joining Granada in Spain. So he's set to leave Wolves and join Granada. Really unsure. I'm really surprised that he's managed to get a move to a top division Spanish side. But we'll wait and see how he gets on. There's something about Corbeanu. I never think he was good enough to break into the Wolves team, but whenever I watched him in the 21s, he almost felt too good for that level. Very big, powerful forward, could play out wide and through the middle. He got given opportunities under Bruno Lage. Nuno seemed to like him as well. I don't think Nuno was a big fan of his attitude as such, but as a player, I think Nuno liked him. But for whatever reason, he's had loans at Grasshoppers. He got recalled. I think it's probably the time for him to move on. And again, for Wolves to recoup a little bit of money in him as well. This is the biggest talking point of the day, though, really. Armando Broja, however you want to say it. Of course, I've been told Wolves, and I put it exclusively out on Talking Wolves on my social media, that Wolves were quoted absolutely ridiculous fees by Chelsea to broker a deal for Armando Broja. I expected this to happen where towards the end of the window, Chelsea would get desperate. So initially, a few days ago, they rejected a straight loan deal by Wolves. They wanted a big option to buy. But as of today, Chelsea now are open to letting Broja go out on a straight loan, but it would need a significant fee and game time assurance. Now, the significant fee that Chelsea are talking about is around £5 million. Which doesn't sound a huge amount, but when you consider the amount of time left in the season, I think there's about 16 league games, a few cup games in there. It's going to work out for Wolves with wages at around 350 grand a game, at least, which is a ridiculous amount of money, really, for a player that Wolves, yes, they do. We would like a number 9, but I don't think it's the be-all and end-all for Wolves. I don't think it's essential that they bring in a number 9. So £5 million to loan him, for me, sounds ridiculous. Apparently, Wolves have inquired today. Wolves have been in talks with him today. I would assume by the end of the day, say it could be around kickoff at Molineux, Chelsea are going to get desperate. They're going to think, right, we really need to move him on. And you could see that lower to £2.5 to £3 million, which I think is a lot more acceptable for Wolves, really. So wouldn't surprise me to see this deal get pushed, because Fulham are the only other team at the moment on paper looking at him. And I think Fulham have moved their attention elsewhere. I saw they were linked with a player playing in the Bundesliga as well. So I think you wait a little bit longer. Obviously, he's based in England. Could well make his way across to Wolverhampton throughout the evening. Maybe a halftime announcement. How good would that be? A halftime announcement at Molineux that he joins as well. But yeah, £5 million loan fee for Armando Broja. And that's it, really. It's been a really, really quiet day. I'd expect, I don't think there's any other news. I'd expect maybe loan deals for, let me turn this off. Loan deals possibly for Joe Hodge before the end of the day. Nathan Fraser, I think, will completely depend on what happens with a striker coming in, to be honest. But yeah, how long are we in? About 9.5 minutes in. So if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to fire them away. But just wanted to do a quick one there. And see what we think. Yeah, so yeah, for Broja, the Wolves will quote at least £45 million as an option or obligation, which was just, ridiculous. Chiquinho would be back at the end of the season. I don't think Wolves will break any loan deal, although I think it'd be quite a cool option to have right now. I think he's doing all right at Family Cow. So yeah, probably come back. I heard Lopetegui's still living in Wolverhampton. Up until very recently, he was living in Technol still. I think he's begging for a job. I understand he's rejected huge amounts of money to move to the Saudi League. He's desperate to still manage in the Premier League. So I really can't figure out with Lopetegui. I really don't know what level of team, that he thinks he can manage at and what team would take him. Maybe like a Palace at the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go there as well. Yeah, I'll be at the game later on, of course. Nathan Fraser will be on the bench. He'll be on the bench today, I would assume, possibly even start him. Who knows? I mean, in terms of giving him the opportunity, obviously still a very young player. He's been injured for quite a long time, so not actually had that much game time this year. But he was good against Brentford. He could have easily scored two. Could have been an absolute hero. Obviously, he got the equaliser, which was great for us. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how many more opportunities he gets given. But I was hoping, which game was it now? Not necessarily the West Brom game. Which game was it before then when we were doing quite well? Brighton. I thought he'd come on against Brighton, to be fair, but I don't know. It's time to bring Diego Costa home. He's free. He's available. Do we think I get a striker in today? Time is ticking. I've still got a sneaky feeling Broja would be the one. I've really got a sneaky feeling, but I don't. Wolves are desperate to do it, but at the end of the day, Wolves don't want to just bring someone in for the sake of it. Wolves have got to think financially, in terms of squad harmony. They've got to suit a lot of things to Wolves, and they're doing well. Wolves, they're doing well, and they've done well for 6 months without a real impact of Sasha or Fabio. So it's not going to be the end of the world today if Wolves don't bring someone in. Genuinely. Yeah, Chouameni as well. He's been doing okay the last couple of cameos he's got. There was that one sort of 50-50 he had against West Brom. His turn of pace, his acceleration was absolutely awful, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, Shiv's always here. He's a diehard Talking Wolves fan. You should do more lives like this. Yeah, to be fair, 230-ish viewers is pretty. I mean, I literally just jumped on live. Normally, if it was a deadline day stream or whatever, I advertise it a bit more, but I literally decided 5 minutes before I was going to do this. So, and people can watch it back as well. Fletcher Holman, I think he's got an injury right now as well. But again, got first team experience at men's level. So, yeah, I think Marcus. I think he would prefer Fulham. Because he probably doesn't even have to move. But at the moment, Fulham, if they don't want to pay the money, they're not going to. And I think Fulham have turned their attention to some sort of different options as well. To be honest, do you think tonight's I really don't know with the atmosphere tonight. I'm really unsure what will happen because it could be a bit of a hangover. It depends how Wolves start. I think if we start well, when Wolves play well under the lights, the atmosphere is always good. Always good. And thank you for everyone asking for people to drop likes as well. Appreciate that. Che Adams, Danny. I'm surprised that these two names haven't popped up over the last day or so, if I'm honest. I'm really surprised. Some iconic moments have come from the deadline day streams. I think, a couple of people have asked if we're doing a deadline day stream today. It's obviously not happening because the match probably not going to be out until about 10, half 10. They've got to do some edit the fans react and stuff, so it won't be one tonight. Jared Gillett is the referee tonight. I know people hate Jared Gillett, but Wolves have never lost whilst he's been the official. So, yeah, and that's the big thing. I don't actually think he'll get that much game time. That's why everyone's desperate to bring in a number 9, and I think it's just a luxury. I don't actually think it's the be all and end all for Wolves. Fulham will play him more than the Wolves, but need a dynamic forward. Yeah. If you know, you know. Broja or Ekitike. I mean, Ekitike is on absolutely astronomical wages. I think he would take a wage drop. He's going to Germany anyway. He's going to Eintracht Frankfurt with Sasha. So, yeah. Did Hobbs give you any exclusives? Yeah, a few, but nothing of note, if I'm honest. Nothing of note. Do I think to be fair, we've been all right. We haven't had any recently, have we? No VAR controversy recently. So, if the club were really pushing for a striker, the Fraser would have been loaned. Yeah, I think we've kept him just in case. I think Gary O'Neill's obviously impressed with what he's seen by Nathan Fraser as well. So, score prediction: I've gone with 2 on Wolves. 2 on Wolves today. So, Jacob, in terms of Hodge, there's been no news really. I was half expecting there to be some more news today. And especially with Boubacar coming back, you got 4 decent central midfielders then. Well, obviously, and I think that's pretty harsh on Joe Hodge if he doesn't. I think he's desperate for a loan move out, to be fair. I think Bristol City Championship teams are looking at him. So I'm quite surprised that move hasn't come to fruition, to be fair. But what did I speak to Matt Hobbs about? Lads, private conversations, lads. I obviously spoke to him a lot about Wolves, but not a lot can be repeated on here. Most of it you guys already know anyway, but just general football chat, to be honest. You should try. We have tried to get Connor Cody before on a podcast. I've tried to get Ruben Neves on. I know it sounds mad, but I'm hoping sometime soon we can get someone on. No idea at the moment, Dean. No idea. I'll have a quick look, see if I can find out. I would assume it's going to be sort of 2 to 3 million, maybe. It's not going to be nothing of note, I don't think. Yeah, there's nothing nothing of note now. Let me just check if Mail Sport put any fees in their thing. No. No, nothing. Wait, what was that side? Mail Sport, what? Gary O'Neill and the Wolves recruitment team were big admirers of the Albanian forward. Yeah, I already knew that. Would you ever see us play midfield? See, I toyed with it today, Dan. I think it depends on obviously Bellegarde and Sarabi's fitness, but Gomez, Lemina, Doyle, maybe by the end of the game we could see. I'm not sure if we'll start with it today. To be fair, we are. I'm hoping to get that done soon, Luke, as well. Probably closer to the summer though, to be honest. And I think, lads, that'll do. I think that'll do for today. Any quick fire questions whilst I say bye? Anything of note that I'll answer. But yeah, guys, hopefully it's a decent end to the transfer window. Obviously, if you follow us on all the socials, at Talking Walls, will give you the updates of what's going on. And obviously enjoy the game if you're going or you're watching it on TV as well. So fingers crossed, it's 3 points on Wolves. Fingers crossed we do get a number 9. Like I said, I don't think it'll be in the end of the world if we don't. But we'll see. I think it will be Doyle and Lemina starting today. João Gomez off the bench. But Doyle and Lemina, both of them had little knocks after the West Brom game, so who knows? What aftershaves are there? Hey, you guys got some random questions in here. Where do Seawolves finishing 11th? And nice one, boys. I'll catch you guys soon anyway. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.